she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. What you mean, what you want, what we doing? Pull up with a coupe, no roof, just to do it. She only talk cash, cause she know I speak fluent. The devil in the dress, shorty, I can see through it. She know I'm a rock star, but I know she a diva. She only sent me black hearts, but she always on her knees. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Now she living in the hills, shorty drive a Benz with a top off. She got a cold heart, but she know that. Bad little bitch taking pictures all the Kodak. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh, look how she moving, she do it okay. Baby out west got a crib in LA. She only want bills with the blue on the face. She hit my DM and she begged me to snoop bag. New whip, she on it, too bad, too lit, she want it. Baby don't stress, couple mil in the bank. She look even better when she walk away. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast. Ooh la la, she hella bad. I might hit it one shotty, I won't hit it back. Do the dash, new Balenciaga got a bag, get it back. Pedal to the gas, shotty, I been living fast.
But I just think it's the right thing to do to wait as long as possible.
Yeah.
Nope. And I'm the opposite. I'm like, open it up, get us all exposed, and but not all of us. I mean, I really want the hospitals to be prepared, so I still want to like make sure that curve is, but
that's the issue, is that we don't want to inundate the hospitals with
like
too many cases.
The
that they
minute
can't
we
handle.
went to Orange and things were slowly opening up, got a tattoo, went to the bar, like I was like, I'm done. But I don't.
Yeah, you know, I won a certificate for a free tattoo for like $200 or whatever.
Wow.
And and the thing is because the COVID came, I haven't been able to use it yet. So like I have this thing, I haven't even contacted them. I wonder if they'll remember, because I won it from we were at an entrepreneur type thing, and Justin Gower in the chat says he's ready to make it rain. What's up, guys? Hey, Justin, how's it going? Like I said, make sure you rain those benches. Not just for we need some money too, Justin. Listen, Coach said he's willing to strip. I think, is that what you're here to see? Coach said he's willing. He started filling up his boob. Oh,
make
man.
sure they're ready.
Yeah.
Like,
Cash out popping, I'm in.
Yeah, but anyway, what's going on, guys? Dev here, Coach B, you know who it be, and we have our special guest today, Mariah and Pamela. You guys have the Salty Sex Cast, is that, if I'm not mistaken, right? For one, that is a fantastic name for a show, the Salty Sex Cast. I love it to pieces.
Thank you.
And then you guys also, if there's anything else you want to plug, go ahead. I did take the links you guys gave to me to plug in here for anything else you want. You guys do have a Patreon. And guys, please go listen to these guys' content, because I can already tell just by talking to these guys for the past 10 minutes that we are about to have a fantastically hilarious show. Show me some nip, Dev, and I will. Whew, guys, am I about to pull the Doja Cat right now?
You better not.
I was going to say. Yeah, well, I was going to ask, do you guys... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
You're like into the gym, yeah?
Yes.
Coach?
Yes,
yeah.
Very.
So, I mean, you have like strong pecs, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you make him dance?
Can you make him dance?
No, I can't make him dance. I never learned how to do it. Is there a YouTube tutorial I can watch, or what? Are you guys going to show me?
Gotta do the
I've
titty
tried
dance.
it.
It's
I've
my
tried it
party
many
trick.
times, but I
You
can't.
can make your titties dance?
I can make my titties dance.
Oh, Mariah.
I
I
totally
have
can.
to see that.
Okay,
I mean-
hold on. Let's see.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Hold on. It's gonna fall, so you gotta hold it.
Okay, I got it.
Oh,
What?
man.
How can you? But Listen. I don't know. How do you do it? Like, is it like you need a certain strength of muscle? Like, how does it happen? Like, I'm kind of curious now. Like, how did you learn? How did you learn to do that?
So it was like kind of like laying on my side, and like you kind of like push your arm in. I was like, oh, that can kind of jumps up there. And so I just kept practicing that, and they just got really strong. And
I'm
then
trying
also-
right now. Okay, so you're like, try your arm in.
Can't
Okay.
do it.
So it's a really fun
I'm like, I
trick
feel like
if
I'm
people are
shimmying my
bothering
chest.
me.
It just doesn't look like it's working. What's that?
Oh, it's just a fun trick. If people are bothering me, I'll just do it and to see if it like totally throws people off.
Oh,
They're
it
like,
would.
I don't know-
I'd be distracted. That's
I don't
for
know
sure.
what to do right now.
I can't not look at your boobs right now. I feel like I need to pay homage to them or something.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really impressive.
Right.
But anyway, so what was the question that I had a question I had to ask, and you guys cut me off right, but you did it.
Distraction.
Yeah, see, I mean,
Yeah.
it worked. It was super effective by Pokemon standards. Yeah, like I'm blown away. Oh my goodness, what the heck? I had a great question that had something to do with. Now I've lost it.
Salty.
What's that?
About the name?
Oh no! Oh, not the name. I was getting close. No, I forgot it, guys. I forgot it, and I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what it was. It'll come to me. I'm sure. It'll come to me. I'm sure. Man.
Well, in the questionnaire you fill out on the calendar to come on the show, you said you wanted to talk about sexuality shaming or shaming sexuality, whatever that. What is that exactly?
I mean, especially coming from Utah and, two females, there is a lot of shame and guilt being a sexual person and showing it outwardly. I mean, how many people were probably cringing watching me bounce my titties just now? So it really
They're liars.
is, like,
Go ahead.
you shouldn't do that. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should cover up. Just even how we're told to dress, how to talk, how to act. And we were, sick of it. And so not only was, we're called salty sex cats, we're a little salty from the sex education we received, just being very, very shamed for being open about it and loud about it. And
Yeah.
I'm proud about my sexuality.
Right?
Yeah.
The shame here is really oppressive. Like, Mariah and I were both raised in these strict conservative religious households. And, the shame is something that we've had to work through over the years to like embrace our sexuality and feel free as women.
Mm.
And actually enjoy sex. Cause like,
Fuck yeah, because
even anything sexual, it's like, I shouldn't be doing this, and so I can't get comfortable. I can't actually, and I feel bad actually enjoying it.
Yeah,
because
you
society
can't,
has told me I should.
you can't fully express
Because you're not allowed. You're saying like you're almost like it's a dirty, disgusting thing, and you're not allowed to feel like you enjoyed yourself during it. You're like, well, this is just how it's
Right,
supposed to.
We shouldn't.
From your
want
beliefs,
it.
not saying that's not
Yeah.
how it is, but from your beliefs, yeah.
Right, like we were taught sex is a tool that you use to make babies, and
In a marriage.
as women, our job was to make and raise those babies. And so the idea that like we should enjoy sex was just completely foreign. Yeah, it's really terrible. It's a terrible situation, a terrible environment to be raised in.
So is your family? So I would imagine. I remember having a conversation that you were keeping things on a low about your podcast for a minute. Then you came out and said, "Let's go." Are you getting negative feedback from that conservative family you had?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So my mom essentially disowned me because she found out I was polyamorous. I didn't directly tell her, but it became apparent after I stopped trying to hide it on social media when I was posting pictures of myself with both of my partners. And she doesn't really know anything about polyamory, so her mind went right to swinging.
Orgies.
Yeah, and orgies.
Mm.
And yes,
And
I love doing all of that stuff too, but that wasn't the conversation we were having. I was talking to her specifically about, well, no, polyamory is a committed, consensual, loving relationship, right? It's just that you have multiple committed relationships. And all she could focus on was the fact that I was having sex with a man outside of my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
She just couldn't get past that. And she was so hateful and disrespectful. And I finally was like, Mom, you know, if you can't speak to me respectfully, then we're not going to be speaking at all. And she couldn't. So that was that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have two things I have to. Well, I have several things I have to say here, but one of them is that I need you guys to readjust again, because when you did the boob bounce thing, you guys cropped yourself out of frame again. I mean, if okay, you guys are going more down than we were supposed to. I just need you guys to go over the left and the right, you know?
Hey, Mariah.
Okay.
Yeah, be quiet.
He's like, be quiet. Well, you know what Justin said? Justin asked me. He said, "Where's your other hand, Coach?" Earlier, he asked where was the other hand at. Now, anyway, one of our guests did ask about orgies, and he wants to know more about that. Because truthfully, I gotta talk about the practicality of an orgy. I mean, and especially in a polyamorous relationship, right? I mean, because do you because for one, let's express polyamorous means multiple partners, right? I mean, in a sense. And when you're talking about polyamory and you're talking about the sex side of things, is it easy to kind of take the personal stuff out of sex? Like, it's like, hey, we're having sex. Like, I'm thinking in an orgy setting, right? You're having sex with multiple partners, but it's okay to say this is just sex, and it doesn't affect the relationships, like the commitment part.
Let me delineate. Okay, so there are plenty of polyamorous people who identify as polyamorous but don't have sex with anyone. They consider themselves asexual. So polyamory is not really about the sex at all. It's about the relationships. Mm-hmm. Swinging is more about the sex, and there's like a lot of crossover.
Open sexual relationships.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the casual physical relationships you have with people. And when you think of polyamory, I think of more of like a relationship, a love,
right. It's not just that physical thing. I'm saying, like, do you have, this is what I was trying to get at. It's like, do you have problems with people who are in the relationship, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I find it hard that you're having sex with this other person, and that, like, rubs them the wrong way. Like, do they have to be polyamorous for that relationship to work themselves? Like, understand that you have multiple partners, etc.? Like, that's kind of where I was leaning towards. And, like, say if you're having sex with another partner.
Are you asking, like, as a polyamorous person, would I ever date a monogamous person?
Sure, I think that's maybe what I'm going with. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just trying to word it the way it's coming up here. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. No, I would not. I've had a lot of really negative experiences with people who were dipping their toe in the open relationship world, and I just won't go there anymore. Like, if someone doesn't know themselves and know for sure that this is the lifestyle they want, then I'm not interested. And they have to be, so to me, the definition of polyamory is not just that you want multiple partners, but that you're fine with your partners having multiple partners. Right. Because if you're the kind of person who's like, it's fine for me, but not for anyone else, that's a double standard that no one should live with.
Well, and then you get, sometimes like a married couple, let's say, and, the husband wants to, and we're going to do, male, female, husband wants to open this relationship up. And so he kind of drags her, and she's like, to keep you, I should do this. You'll kind of see some things like that, and it's very uncomfortable. It's very, very obvious. A lot of times they start with like that swinging, but then he wants more, but he still was like, I got to bring the old hag with me kind of thing. And it's like,
so yeah,
it's really uncomfortable, very, very obvious. And
now,
it's really sad that people.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Coach, go for it.
Does both partners? Okay, now I'm trying to understand this. Now, do both partners have to agree? Like, do you have to agree on the person you're having the other relationship with? Do they get to say so, or is it just, hey, do your thing?
There are no hard and fast rules in polyamory. Everybody creates their own boundaries and standards for their own relationship. Okay. So, in my relationships, I don't personally want to have that kind of power in anyone else's life. So I insist on complete autonomy. My husband and my other partner can see whomever they want. However, my husband's other partner right now, you know, she and I do not get along at all. She was.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It happens, and it's, you know, like, it's really interesting because she kind of like dug her own grave. Like she came from a monogamous background. She's definitely a monogamist, but she
That's what I was about to ask. But go ahead.
Yeah, like she saw this opportunity of this married man in an open relationship that she really liked, and I think she was at least subconsciously trying to replace me as his monogamous partner. And you know, when I finally figured out that's what was going on, you know, I said, I don't want you in my life anymore. But I'm not going to tell my husband who he can and cannot be with. But he's very much aware that, you know, there's a lot of contention there. So yeah, those things do come up, but I mean, I think those things come up in monogamous relationships as well, right? Like, I feel like there's even more.
Right, there's people that happens where whoever your partner's associating with doesn't even have to be like in a sexual manner or as a partner or anything. We just, you know, I've had girlfriends where it's like, I don't like her, you know. It's like, what do you mean you don't like her? You know, it's like we just talk sometimes. Like, it's not a big deal. You know, I've had multiple, and I'm sure Coach has had multiple experiences where it's like, don't talk to her anymore. And it's that same narrative. And you're right, because I had the thought in my mind about it being a monogamous relationship or she being that way, because that was more so maybe where I was aiming at, is like, you have someone who's polyamorous, maybe the other one's polyamorous, but maybe a partner they have is not, in a sense. And then what do? They might try and basically ruin a relationship. And that could be a toxic thing to deal with sometimes. So I'm actually very curious how do you deal with that? Like, does your husband, like, does he say, oh, that's okay, you know, she won't mess any of this up for us or anything like that? Or do you have to kind of, I don't know, it's a hard situation. Like, do you bite your tongue, and how do you acknowledge his problems? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
I never bite my tongue, because I don't think that works in polyamory.
Right.
I always express how I'm feeling and let the other person make the decision on how they want to live their life, with all the information. And if they are, you know, doing something that I can't live with, then I have the choice to leave that relationship.
And when we say, like, we don't hold back, it means you have to say something truthfully, but there's a good and a bad way to do it. There's a healthier way to do it. And I would say people who have a healthy polyamorous relationship or any type of open relationship probably are the healthiest people to look at. And how do they run their relationship? Because
if they have a long-term polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's be clear. I know a lot of people, I would say, like,
don't fix it. Don't use it to fix a relationship.
Like 90% of people who start out monogamous and then try to open up their marriage end up divorced.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to be a healthy communicator. You have to be able to take, you know, things that are hurtful, and what do you do with it? How do you communicate with somebody that there is jealousy without making someone else so defensive that now communication lines are cut? Yeah. You have to be so open and raw and honest, and then be willing to also take it too. I mean, you have to say it. You can't dig things deep. You can't push it down. It's going to boil over. Almost every little thing. Yeah. And yes, the jealousy is there, but I mean, even look at between two siblings. Siblings can be jealous of, like, oh, mom bought you that car, and then, you know, in high school I got the beater or whatever. Just whatever that looks like. That's money. But there's always little things, and if you can't squash it, and even if you don't solve it, at least someone's more aware. Yeah. You know, with my relationship now, it's kind of been like, hey, it's happened twice, and I'm gonna say something that's hard to say, but
you really have to get over your pride.
You do, and you have to be, and no more pussyfooting around it, because now you have two people for my relationship, two people that I have to tell. They can't just read me, you know. I can't just expect that they know my body language automatically. So
yeah.
Can I talk about the flip side of jealousy, though?
Sure.
See, this is the part that I love about polyamory. it's a word that some polyamorous coined. I don't know who, but the idea is that if you feel like joy and excitement and love and even like sexual excitement from your partner's partner, if that makes sense. So you get excited over seeing your partner excited over their partner.
Right. Well, that's a good that's a good thing.
That's called compersion. Right.
Compersion.
And I am very compersive. Like I love seeing my partners happy or over somebody new, you know, or I love to watch them have sex with other people. Like that brings me a lot of joy.
Hey.
Yeah, but I want to get to some comments quick. So Justin Gower says that he does not believe you guys are polyamorous until you guys kiss. Ryan came in and asked us what the she looked over. Ryan said, I came to this late. What's the topic about? We're talking about polyamory, sexuality, various different things. I mean, we could talk about anything really, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So Coach, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just wanted, before I forget this question, because this is, I think, is very important, is how does that, like, time management? Like, is there a like what do you guys, you got a schedule on the fridge that says dinner with, you know, stuff like that? How does that work?
Thank God for the modern world. We have Google Calendar.
But yeah, time management really is a thing, and you want to make sure you're still building a relationship one-on-one with someone, and not letting that fizzle. Ours is a little bit more, you know, it's all three of us together all the time. It's not, sometimes we do one-on-one, like obviously they're out on a shopping date right now while I'm here, but that's completely fine. As far as us kissing, we are not polyamorous
We're
together.
not in a relationship with each other.
So they see, that's what the audience had confused. They're sitting here thinking like, you know.
You guys,
that's really sweet.
Yeah, and we do like each other very much. Yeah, but we have a professional working relationship.
Yeah, you guys are professional and probably counselors too. You guys are probably counseling each other, having conversations about your relationship. Is that happening?
We bounce a few things off of each other quite often, and a lot comes out in the podcast too. Like you surprised, like I haven't put that into words yet. Well, fuck. All right. Yeah. Oh shoot. I didn't ask if we could swear. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You can be explicit. That's fine.
Okay, good. So it's just one of those things that it's just fun to talk to and get it out in words, because they're coming so easily now.
I like how you said it, out in words. It was like it's almost looked like you were throwing it up as you were saying it. So now here's a question. You guys said you came from a conservative background, religious background. You know, and I have my own things about religion. It's one of my things to die on, so to speak. And my curiosity here is, you're in Utah, so there's a lot of Mormons. And I'm curious, none of you guys, were you raised in like a Mormon religion at all? Or okay, so you raised in Mormonism. So that's interesting.
I was actually raised Catholic and then converted to Mormonism when I was 21, and then became atheist when I turned 35.
Okay. So see, this is interesting to me. So Mormonism, I mean, the husband, if I'm not mistaken, the husband believes that someday, I don't know if multiple wives, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, I'm
but
kind
not
of curious.
In this life.
Right, no, in the next life, right. And they're saying in this life it's inappropriate now, but in the next life you'll go there. But I'm saying
only because it's illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
If it was legal, they'd probably be all for it.
Yeah.
But they have to move with the times, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of curious to get your inside take on this, because I mean, like, what do you think of that belief system? You know, like thinking about a life after death where they can be with multiple, you know, and then they're judging you now for it. You know.
I think down with the fucking patriarchy.
Yeah.
Right.
Shut up. Down with the patriarchy.
Yeah.
I love it.
No. I think it's bullshit. Like, it's the worst, and it's probably the hardest thing about that organization, because it is so heavy on male leadership, and your husband has really the final say on things. He has the priesthood. I'm quoting everything. He has the special keys that he could tell you, because he has a special relationship with God. So,
right. Yeah.
No, I was born in it. I got married and sealed in our temple.
Oh boy. What about the magic underpants?
I wore the Jesus jammies.
Yeah, you wore the Jesus jammies. I love it.
Yeah.
So Justin Gower says, I've been trying to convince my wife to become Mormon. I saved some strippers in a fire during the recent riots. Can't hide them in the basement forever. I don't think you quite understand. Not in this life, the next life.
Next life.
Next life.
So,
I mean,
so
you have to kill them all first.
Right.
Maybe.
or
kill them
he
all,
could be
then you're gonna,
part
of course.
the fundamentalists.
Yeah.
The FLDS. That's another. That's not actually part of LDS. They just call themselves that.
Yeah.
But they're polygamous.
Polygamous, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So, are both of you were you also in the born into Mormon faith?
Me, no, I was born Catholic.
Oh, okay. And then you
Yeah.
went into
Yeah.
Mormon.
I converted because I married someone who was raised in the church, and his parents invited the missionaries over, and I drank the Kool-Aid.
When we say the church, it's because we're from Utah, and anyone says the church, they know it's LDS. They know it's Mormon.
Church of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
Okay.
LDS Mormon, same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I just want to know that because it's cool now that I have a resource, because like I said, I'm like a big atheist advocate, like skeptical, scientific thinking, all that jazz. So it's cool now to have like a connection for Mormon stuff now. So now I might like reach out to you guys and be like, oh, you raised this way, and just hear about your experiences with it.
Yeah.
Nothing will convince you of atheism. Hello, atheism. Not coming out. Words today are horrible. Than being Mormon.
Yeah.
Because like it really will it fucks you up.
Yeah.
And you're just like, how the fuck is this real?
Yeah.
And so you're like, none of it is. If that is, none of I can't.
I mean, if you read the Book of Mormon, how could you believe it? I mean, the Bible in itself is crazy. Don't get me wrong, the Bible is crazy. But the Book of Mormon, like the
See, I disagree. I think that the Old Testament is far more outlandish than the Book of Mormon.
Yeah. Well,
it was actually reading. So, like, I read the entire Book of Mormon a few times because you're encouraged to do that.
You're a better
the
Mormon than I was.
And then I went and I read the Old Testament the year that we were studying. One of the years we were studying that, I actually like got into it, and I was like, talking donkeys.
Yeah, turning a guy into a pillar of.
What the fuck is this?
Right, but it was their fault or something. I think isn't that what the Bible tries to make? It was the daughter's fault because they got the husband or the dad drunk or something. Like Lot, you're talking about.
It wasn't their fault, but they initiated it. They got him drunk so that they could get impregnated with his seed because he, for whatever reason, like couldn't have children. I don't know, like
that was their Pornhub back in the day. That was their
them.
Pornhub. Let's be real. Like that was like their erotica. They would like read that story and then they would look at like a flip book of drawings and stuff. Let's be real.
It was just a way to get their fantasies off for generations and be like, hey man, read this book and this is what you got to follow if you want to see, you want to be loved by God. And then that was just another control mechanism by a bunch of stories. So question, you guys being in that big community of Mormons, is that how you say it? Would it be Mormons? Okay. And you guys are basically out of it. Do you get like, are you looked at different in the community, the people that know it? Or like you can't go to certain places you used to or to certain people?
Here's the thing though, is that in the town that we live in and in Salt Lake City as well, there are more people that have left the church than that are currently active members of the church. And so I feel like part of the majority here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you go to the suburbs, it's different.
You do. You lose your support system kind of if you leave. It's a weird chasm when you have like, it was really hard, I think, for my kids and then their friends because kids don't really quite understand. They're like, all of a sudden you have different beliefs than me, so I probably can't hang out with you. So it was really hard on my kids. I mean, they couldn't hang out with their friends anymore. If we're drinking a beer on our porch, people won't let their kids come over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that religion, man. I mean, I don't believe in organized religion. I believe there's something, but I don't believe in somebody handing me a book and telling me I got to do these things. The overall vision of it is just be a good person. I believe that, but all those rules that they're setting in, no matter what it is, what religion it is, organized religion, I just think it's crazy because it does things like that. Now you got your kids that are like, wow, I can't even play with my buddies because of this situation. And I know that has to be hard, especially on a mother, because you guys want to see, you know, us fathers, we're pretty much like whatever we say goes. And we don't have that, you know, we think, but you guys really put the heart and soul in it. So I imagine that would have been a hard scenario to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, we're gonna go back here. I want to backtrack. Well, not actually. Well, I want to do a nice segue here. So, blessed be you. Anyway, as I was saying, was my little sidetrack here. So, you guys said about like shame. You know, you felt a lot of shame and guilt going into, you know, just when you start even dabbling in the world of polyamory, and then also not in polyamory, but sexuality. I mean, like, you know, being sexual and being okay with enjoying sex and all those different things. And I'm kind of curious, you know, how did that church life affect that too? Like those growing up, like I'm curious, like on that, just that direct thing, the shame that came with that.
Number one reason that caused the shame. So it really was, even from when you're little, they teach you women's bodies should be always covered to save men, to keep them clean, to keep their thoughts clean, not to keep me clean.
Yeah,
it's
our
for them.
responsibility to make sure that men don't have impure thoughts.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have like taglines that are called like modest is hottest, you know, and so like as a youth, you're fucked up. You have no clue. Like don't feel horny when you have all these hormones raging through you. That makes you evil and part, you know, like it's just so
I don't know.
terribly.
So you probably felt so horrible, like whenever like you hit puberty and you're like, oh my goodness, like, you know, this boy over here is pretty cute, and you're like twirling your hair, and then all of a sudden, what's that? Or girl, yeah, or girl. You're twirling your hair, and you're like, oh yeah, and then that's probably makes you feel worse, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean, and that's why we talk about the shame on it so much, is because, you know, we're all hungry as human beings. We have that need to fuel our bodies, right? We also have that drive to procreate, you know, that's just our physiological response and things. But now we're having all this shame because think of it as every time you're hungry, someone's going to tell you that's wrong and you shouldn't be hungry. They're going to judge you on how you eat, what you eat, when you eat, and who you can eat with, you know? And so that's how sex and sexuality was treated in that religion. And it really, really stemmed from everything. And being in Utah, and it's so mainstream. I mean, the schools followed that law. You know, it's just society as a whole, even if someone was an LDS or Mormon.
Right. So I don't know about Dev, but it doesn't make any sense. If you could cover, I got an imagination. I'm looking at, if you got it all covered up, I'm still going with those thoughts.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly right.
But we're going to heaven, we'll be judged on our thoughts too, our impure thoughts.
Right.
We won't go to the highest heaven.
Right. That's why I was asking them that particular thing, because I think it is interesting. Like that's how you get mentally messed up, is because you have impure thoughts, and then you literally go crazy. I mean, you make yourself crazy because you have thoughts that normal people have all the time, and you think you're wrong for having those thoughts, and that's just not the case.
I'm going to hell. I'm not stopping my thoughts, bro. I enjoy my thoughts.
One of my earliest thoughts that I felt such deep-rooted shame and guilt for, I was probably 8 years old, and I knew what sex, like, to have a baby, someone needed to have sex, but I didn't really know, like, the mechanics of it. And I remember my aunt and uncle were like, oh, we're pregnant, we're so excited, and they're, like, talking about this, and I was like, oh, that means they had to have sex. And I went home with, like, I was going to vomit. Like, I felt so guilty that I had that thought that someone else had sex. I'm like, of course people have sex. Yes, people have sex. We want more people to have sex. Like, good, healthy sexual relationships. But I still remember so vividly feeling so guilty for having that thought and knowing that, like, I know that they've done something, you know? And it was just, like, how sad. It's such a normal human thing. And, of course, you know, and it was...
And don't even get me started on masturbation.
Oh my goodness! I kind of want you to get started.
Episode.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll save the time. I'll plug the first episode. Everybody go check out the first episode and talk about masturbation. I'll listen to it. I won't go here. I'll listen to it there. That way I'll give you guys a listen and a like, because I'm interested. I got a car ride. I got to go pick up Coach for the protest here soon. So I'll listen to it on the way there and let you know what I think. You guys on
Hey.
Spotify?
Don't masturbate
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
get,
Okay.
bro.
We're on all
Hey.
major listening platforms.
Awesome. Okay. Now I was gonna ask this: how long did it take for you guys to recover? Like, real short answer. Like, how long did it take you guys? Like, are you still recovering now? You think, or are you like kind of over it now? Or
Did we swing the pendulum too far? We're like, fuck this, close off.
Yeah.
Like, fuck
We
everyone.
quit.
No, I think it really was because we were so oppressed and like just that shame. It wasn't because I swung my pendulum so far, but it was like, I get control over this and I get to enjoy this. I've lost so many years of feeling so terrible. I'm not going to do that anymore. And I really wish that, I don't wish that upon anyone. And that's why we have kind of started that podcast, is like, this is a way to embrace your sexuality and do it in a healthy way, not just, you know, fuck anything that moves and say it's because you were raised Mormon kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not that excuse, but
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
Dad, I couldn't really give you like an exact time frame, but yeah.
no, just like
I
roughly.
struggled
Like,
with it forever.
you know, yeah.
Forever.
I'm sure. I was just saying like roughly, like in a mind, like, you know, are you guys still dealing with it
years,
now? Or
like years. And no,
'cause,
I
mean,
do
you.
think-
I would think around the time you became atheist would be probably around the time that you were like.
Yeah, that's when I kind of awoke sexually. But I mean, I had always been a hypersexual person. Like my
Yeah.
entire life, I started masturbating when I was 3.
Cool.
And yeah, and like remembering the shame about it like my entire childhood.
Coach's face, he like looked away. He was like, I can't.
I'm just imagining, like, is that what because I got a daughter, and I'm thinking, yo, was she masturbating at 3?
No, oh
Like,
Yeah,
no.
probably.
What's going
a lot
on?
of boys do grab themselves. It's because it feels good and you're
Yeah, and
feeling your body. It's just like, you know, feeling other sensations and feelings. You're just getting to know your body, and there shouldn't be a lot of shame. There should actually be more education behind it. Be like, okay, so maybe let's not do that at the kitchen table, please.
yeah,
you know?
I mean, babies do it in the
Yeah.
womb.
Yeah.
It is just a natural human function, and I didn't know what I was doing, but yeah, I've always been hypersexual, and so
If God didn't want us to do it, he
coming
wouldn't
out
give us hands to
of-
reach.
huh?
If God didn't want us to do it, he wouldn't give us hands to reach.
Right.
Right.
So like coming out of that strict religious background, you know, I very quickly started making up for lost time, and I made probably a lot of stupid decisions.
Respect.
Yeah, right. And like getting back to orgies, like I, you know, stumbled into situations like that. It's not something I ever really went seeking after, but
Does she need to?
those things just kind of happened, and you know, like opportunities presented themselves, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna try all the things. And
It's one of those things like your parents tell you don't do. When you figure out, oh, I'm old enough to make that decision, or I have my own beliefs, I'm gonna do.
yeah, and I think that it helped me grow immensely as a person and a woman, and I don't regret anything that I did, although there are some definitely, I wouldn't redo some of the things.
It wouldn't redo, like, oh God, what was I thinking, kind of
Right.
things. Like, oh my
There were
goodness,
those
no.
moments. But I
Do you
learned
ever
something
hit somebody?
from every experience, and I'm really glad that I had those because I am who I am today because of it. And so yeah, I'm a little more, I think, careful, and I wouldn't say conservative. That's going too far, but
So that's a trigger word.
But-
You don't want to say that.
no, I don't want to say that. But yeah, definitely choosier now about who I'm with and what I do.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask on the relationship level now, you know, because we've been really sexual up until this point
Yeah.
when we're talking. But I was gonna say at the relationship level, I mean, how do you know that you are like polyamorous? I mean, is it like a thing where you have the ability, like you have the capacity to love multiple people, or or is it? I'm saying like how? I mean, I'm just curious because I'm genuinely interested in this. How would someone know? Is it like, for instance, you could feel I don't know how to put it, like you have a personal connection and also like a connection to people so much, like you care about people so much that you feel comfortable, like for their happy, like you said, the genuine happiness you feel whenever your partner's happy, right? Like even if you see him with that partner, you like seeing them happy, and that gives you like genuine joy and love. Like, do you think it comes from something like that, where you feel genuine compassion and love for a lot of people, and you know that's like a thing that you can deal with? Like, you don't want someone all to yourself. You just want them to be happy. That's how much you care about them. So,
I think it's very, very personal in everybody's journey to polyamory. A journey to it, like it's the end result. But for me, when we started the podcast, I just had my husband and I had like an open sexual relationship. Every once in a while, someone would, join us or whatever. So that's why I was like, how can you love more than one person? Like, that's so hard. I could do that. And we had several episodes we've tried to record polyamory, and those were the ones that we were talking about that would like get lost and something. So it's really, really interesting because she would have her partners on, and you always hear me, and I was like, nope, I couldn't do it. Like, that's crazy. If you listen from start to finish, all of our episodes, which I just dropped episode 31, so it's not a ton, you'll see my journey. You'll hear it. You'll see what happens and what really wasn't expecting for me. But I am very guarded in who I say even I love to. I love you too. I am kind of a little bit shut down, a little bit like icy heart. Like, I've been told that often. And it's not because I'm like so over caring or whatever, like you were kind of describing. It was more because it was like, I don't know. And it's not even like, oh, something was missing that I needed to. It was very, very, so that was my part. But for you, it was a little different too, right?
Yeah. So I think that there are both people who are born polyamorous, who maybe have some of those attributes that you described, Dev. And then I think there are also people who are in polyamorous relationships because maybe they are in love with someone who's polyamorous, and they're like, well, I'm going to make this work. And that's the case with my husband. Like, when I figured out that this is who I am, I was born this way, I've always felt this way. Like, I remember being in high school and being with my boyfriend and thinking like, God, I wish he would just see other people. Like, it's not that I wanted to break up with them, but it's just kind of part of my identity. And my husband is very happy being monogamous. Like, he would much prefer to just have a simple monogamous life. And he's started practicing poly for me to make this work, because it's very hard for me to be out there dating or having other very serious relationships and him not have that kind of, same support system or whatever.
Does it make you feel bad because he's not enjoying, like, he's like there you are on
Fuck yes.
Yeah, it's like he's not enjoying himself, and you're like, well, here I am, I'm out here, and like, you're not, like, why aren't you, kind of thing? Or is it more like you feel bad because he's, like I said, waiting at home for somebody who's out in a relationship, or not out, you're out on other dates and doing things, and then, he's just at home waiting for you to get back, and you're like, why aren't you living up to having that best time? Why aren't you out there doing you don't even have to be women, whatever you want to do, man, right? Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really guilty about wanting something that he didn't want, and kind of pushed him into dating and that sort of thing. But then he ended up dating this monogamous woman that I don't get along with, because he was looking, without really realizing it, he was looking for someone like him, And so that's caused a lot of relationship problems. So, I don't know.
Is that a
warning?
concern?
Learn from my mistakes.
I don't want to say problems, but challenges.
Okay, challenges.
Challenges, yeah. If you
Thank
say
you.
problems, then you're putting
My
my
health and wellness coach right here.
Yeah, right. It's a challenge.
Have you ever? I don't know how many relationships you had while you were married. Has anybody said, I want to take that place? I think you mentioned something about a female doing it, but
Yeah.
did you want to go with anybody else and be married to them? Or
Never.
No, never?
No, I essentially have two husbands right now. Like, I have been married to my legal husband for 23 years. And I have only been with my other partner for over a year, but he and I are like we are so close, and I know we're going to be life partners as well. And we all live together, and we all share a bed. And my husband and my other partner, they're not bisexual, but you know, we do have a sexual relationship, and it's really nice. Yeah, it's not like I
question. Just a quick question, because you said you're not
Okay.
bisexual. I have to know this. So like, you're sleeping in bed together. For one, how big's the bed? Is it you guys got like a custom sized
Not
bed?
big.
Yeah, it's gotta be
it's a
huge.
king.
It's a king. Okay, I'm just saying, like, regardless.
California.
Do you guys have to sit, like, do you have to be in the middle every night and they're on the sides? Or, like, okay, gotcha. All right, I always wanted to know that, because I thought it would be funny if, like, one night they're like, oh, shit, whatever, you know, and they just sleep beside each other.
It is such a bitch getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah, because you have to, like,
Right.
walk across them, and they're like, what the fuck, man?
Yes,
Like, what are you
yes.
doing? It's like, well...
But it's so nice to wake up in the morning when we're all horny and just, like, have sex with one while I kiss the other one and then switch. That's really nice.
Yeah. Move on about your
Having
day.
sex.
That's right.
I'm so
Hey,
on edge.
do what you want. I want to have these relationships with females every day, but I can't seem to find them. I'm moving to Utah. It seems like the place for it to be.
Right. Mariah, you were going to say something, I think.
Oh, I'm the edge sleeper. Our girlfriend's in the middle, so I don't get the middle. I'm still an edge.
You're still an edge?
Yeah,
Still
but
an
you
edge.
guys, so we are a V, right? Because I'm in the middle, and then my husbands aren't, because they don't have a sexual relationship with each other. But Mariah is in
We're a triangle.
a triangle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Or
our.
a thruple.
A throuple.
Or a
Thruple. I like that word.
fucking
I don't,
word.
even if I don't use it in the context, I might just start using the word thruple. Just because I
Thruple.
like it.
Anything that comes in threes, just say a thruple.
Thruple. Oh, it's just a thruple.
So, yeah, or a trifecta. I don't know.
A trifecta.
So that is, my husband, we've been married for 10 years, and I'm bisexual, and, acted on it a little bit when we would have, again, these open sexual relationships with people, but it never got anything more, and it was very, very short term. It was kind of like just a fun thing to spice things up, which is totally fine. But then we met this one girl, and she's a lesbian, and it really, really worked out for us. And it's been 6 months, and she doesn't live with us, but she's our girlfriend.
Yeah,
Well,
but she's
she's somewhat
bisexual,
yeah.
because she has a relationship with Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I'm like, because that's what I was about to follow that up with. Is like, well, wait a minute, you said she's lesbian, like, so she's in the middle now, and I'm like sitting there thinking like I was doing Da Vinci Code math based on Pamela's thing. I'm like, wait a minute, so if you're on the edge, that means she's in the middle. So that means she's with the guy that she doesn't have a sexual relationship with, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm like something's not adding up here. Like I was like, so, okay, but you answered that question, so we're good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know we got to start heading out here, Dev. It's getting to that time.
It
I'm
is getting
sorry
to
we
that time.
a little bit short, ladies. Sorry about that, but we will keep listening to your podcast. Everybody out there that got it, the links are in the description. Check that out, and we will definitely have you. I got a great idea to bring you guys back on and have a little conversation with some other people that I think that'll work. So you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you guys jumping on and changing the time and everything, man. Just really appreciate the conversation, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, happy to do it. And please check out our Patreon as well. We've got like lots of fun, kind of spicy content on there.
I am a margarita connoisseur. I make up awesome recipes, so you get those. I mean, lots of great things.
Yeah.
It's all there.
They know how to run a Patreon, guys. They're running it. Margarita.
Sexy
Sexy
photos of Mariah and I.
Yes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. I'm jonesing right now. I'm jonesing for one of these photos. But regardless, yeah, you guys have been absolutely terrific, and I'm glad to talk to some people who are very open about these kind of conversations and things, because we do. I mean, Bridging the Gap. This show is all about having hard to have conversations. And, I'm glad that there's people like yourselves that are open, and hopefully maybe someone popped in and watched our show today and they got a piece of information and felt, maybe I'm a little bit more sexually empowered today. And that's a great thing. That's what I'm hoping.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely positively will. As always, guys, we are getting out of here. Real quick, you guys don't have anything else to plug, right? I think we have everything you have in the chat.
I'm still in the closet, so don't call me out on social media, please.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, don't tag me.
Okay, we won't at you. All right,
Don't
I
at
didn't
me.
put last names either. I didn't put last names on screen. You guys are Pamela and Mariah. That's it.
Perfect.
Okay. As always, stay beautiful. Take care of yourselves. We are out of here. Have a good one. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.